my goodness, this is awful!
Alright, I hope you're sitting down for this, because I have a bombshell to drop on you. See, if you've been keeping up with my videos, few and far between as they may be, then you know that something I really love to do is pick apart the meta of Laser Lords so that I can ask the really tough questions, and sometimes give answers. It so happened that the other day while I was live streaming the ending of the game, I had an epiphany. There's this line at the very end that Sarpedon says,
Wealth, power, with these you attempt to hold off the inevitable. That darkness will enfold you, that you will be consumed by the void, that all your striving, your hopes and fears are meaningless.
and when I heard it, a bell started ringing in my head. One of the biggest questions I've been asking about this game, one I've analyzed in Laser Lords Tark Part 2, is if Zendo is a good guy or a bad guy, because it depends how you look at it. See, Zendo's been giving a lot of different advice to many different characters throughout the game, so it's really hard to pick sides. For example, he works with Seb to get the Soothstone to the Hivians, while at the same time he's been helping Lysistrata, the Kriegona who helped kill the Hivians, so she can find a new life for her people. And at the end, we're even told a hypothetical situation where Zendo and Sarpedon are in cahoots, just playing a game with mortals and laughing about it. So much information, so many hypotheticals, endless interpretation, and for what? Why so much gray area? Well, guess what? I have an answer for you. Laser Lords is an allegory. Zendo and Sarpedon represent two sides of the human ego. Zendo being the drive to do good things, virtuous, and Sarpedon representing our inherent pessimism, who acknowledges that life is pure suffering and dying is a sweet release. The condensation crystal is symbolic of life. The Star-Lords cannot handle the object themselves because they are psychological manifestations, not physical entities. Zendo cannot do anything with the crystal because he is the desire to do good. The human being himself must take the physical action to become good, whereas Sarpedon, negativity, and nihilism, when given the crystal, means giving up and dying, just as the warrior doppelganger outside of Sarpedon's lair on Ravana tries to convince you to just give up, lay down, and die. Obviously, the human in the middle of this is Warrior, or Lonnie, or whatever you want to call him. The reason why there are so many Starmen sent on this task who all seem the same is because Warrior is merely a catch-all for humanity, a reflection of how every single person has to go through this. During the end narrative by Zendo, when you successfully win the game, Zendo makes a point to tell you that he cannot give you any tokens of your quests, and warns you against telling anybody what you did. That always seemed like a major downer, like a suspicious downer. But it's because this has been an internal psychological struggle. Warrior did not go to space. He was having a battle against trying to do the right thing, and well, facing an untimely demise at his own hands. The eternal struggle between doing the right thing and succumbing to depression. Additionally, another branch of this metaphor goes into physical possessions, and this is where other planets come into play. Most of the planets have some element of greed to their story. The Kriegs turning Fornax into a mine to make profit, the destruction of Luxor to get their gold, the Argosian Crusade, the quest for Fleeton, all of it. Even many of the side quests are about getting payout for insider trading or blackmail, or even altering your physical body to feel more pleasure. Warrior has to navigate through a minefield of materialism in order to do the right thing and overcome his pessimistic downfall. Why else would learning all of those songs and codes be important? It's not the material items, it's the spiritual quest. It's the lessons, the virtue, the lore. That's what life is about, and that is how you overcome the nihilism. Because if you look for it in physical objects, you will only be temporarily subdued, where in the end, the reality will still catch up to you. And this also makes sense as to why, like every single planet knows about Earth. This is just a manifestation of all the problems in Lonnie's life, all the physical greed, all the physical objects that hold him back. Everybody knows about Earth all over the galaxy because that's what he knows about. And there you have it. Yes, I'm sure more questions will be asked than answered, but my biggest riddle has theoretically been solved. The reason why the plot is so complex, multi-layered, nonsensical, and redundant is because it's not a real story. It's an allegory. And just what do you think about that?